welcome to the Global Village podcast. And today,
welcome to my lectures vlog.
We have invited the fascinating personal here from United States of America, President Trump. Oh no, President Trump. Nope. So we have here two guys. The first one is Benjamin Han. Thank you so much. And the second one is Koda. Thank you so much, Koda and Ben, for coming here.
Yeah, thank you.
How's it going?
It's going well.
Going well. Koda?
It's going well.
Going well. Both of you is from Fakultas Teknologi Pertanian.
Pertanian.
Faculty
saja,
of Agricultural Faculty or FTP or FP?
FP, yeah.
Oh, FP, not FTP, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. The first questions. How could you be able to speak bahasa this fluent?
Mau menjelaskan bahasa Indonesia atau bahasa Inggris?
Which?
Terserah sih.
Terserah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Language is really important to both of us, but in coming to the university, wanted to be able to fully engage with students, wanted to take regular classes, so took a cursus this whole year to get ready for semester ganjil ini, and it was just a lot of ngobrol and nongkrong.
Okay, nongkrong.
You get to learn.
Okay. Yeah, Ben. How about you, Koda?
Yeah, very similar. We would go to Rumah Bahasa to study. So that was kind of our main.
2024.
So this would have been actually. We began last year in December when we first arrived, but then we studied all the way up until August when we entered. And outside of that, we would do. Yeah, I would go to a cafe. Shout out to Ecology 2.0.
Okay.
I would go there basically every evening and just talk with all the karyawan there and just kind of,
How long it takes to learn Bahasa Indonesia, yeah? Until you can be fluent like this?
How I like to think about it is like, if you've ever like met somebody who's like a black belt in karate or like black belt in the martial art, it's like becoming a black belt is like, you know how much. You just are aware of how much more you have to learn.
Yeah.
So it's like you meet people and they're like 6th degree black belts, and it's like, whoa, that's crazy. I feel like we're both like 1st degree black belts, where it's like we just now know how much there is to learn, but we can get by.
Because I think when we want to learn bahasa, any kind of that language, outside our mother tongue, our mouth is actually have a mouth movement. Like you yourself, your mother tongue is English. My mother tongue is bahasa. So my mouth movement is very familiar with bahasa Indonesia. Right. And when I speak English, the accent is Malaysia have their own accent. Malaysia, Singapore have their accent in Singapore. But Indonesian can be British, can be American. Right. How about you? It's so hard to you to have a mouth of a movement in bahasa.
Yeah, I really love learning languages, and so it's really fun to try and like whenever I'm hearing how somebody says it, I try and like mimic that as best I can. But it's also interesting because there's certain words or phrases that I say that have like a different accent in like Indonesia, in a different part of Indonesia than like East Java, or like we have a friend who's from Sunda, and so like there are some phrases that I say and like I sound more Sundanese whenever I say it. So it's like
Javanese,
campur.
Ben.
Yeah.
Because first I heard Ben talk in bahasa, it's like Bapak saya mau kontrakan. How about you, Ben? Your mouth movement.
Yeah, we actually took a class about how to change the shape of your mouth to speak different languages. It was very interesting because I didn't think there were so many different sounds that you could make. Right. Thankfully, Indonesian has a lot of similar sounds to English. There's only a couple like ungu. That's a different sound. We
yeah.
don't do that in English.
In your ungu.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been fun and trying, like Coda said, to listen, trying to mimic well so that I don't sound too much like have an American accent when I speak Indonesian.
Well, we learned so much, guys, because my listeners actually is very keen to learn English to any foreign language, because my listeners, of course Indonesians, is keen to have a connection, to have a global exposure, So maybe before we turn into your introduction of yourself, do you have any suggestions for Indonesian people, for our listeners here, how to learn another languages? Not necessarily to have to be here in the given country, but how we can be that fluent in a foreign language.
Yeah, I think one of the most important language skills I think that Ben and myself have learned as we've come to Indonesia is actually something that's really intangible. It's not something that you can really like point at. It's more of just how I describe it is like a comfort with ambiguity, like a comfort with things not always being clear. Because that happens a lot, especially when we first arrived. It's like we really didn't speak much Bahasa. We took like an online course to kind of like prep us for when we came. But it was, so when we're sitting in a room with like a bunch of Indonesians, they're speaking Bahasa and there's some campur with Bahasa Jawa and everything like that. So it's like, you just kind of have to be like, okay, I'm not going to understand everything, and like, that's okay. I think that is like such a good foundation. And so being okay with not understanding every single word, and then just consistency, being willing to put yourself out there, and jangan takut salah. You're gonna be wrong sometimes, and sometimes and that's fine. If you have relationships with people, like ultimately language is like a relational thing. So make it a community experience, reach out to people who speak well. And especially if you're living if there are students who are wanting to do school in Europe or in the United States.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. What do you take on it, Ben?
Yeah, the biggest challenge that I've heard from Indonesians that I've talked to is there's just so few people that they can speak with. So every time somebody comes up to me, of course they want to speak English, which is okay. But finding any creative way to just be in conversation with native English speakers, but even people that speak English well, just so that you can practice. Because if I didn't speak Indonesian every day, I wouldn't have been able to learn it, because you don't use it. So whether that's just playing video games and talking to people online or whatever.
You're still thinking in English or in Bahasa? You need to think in the given language, right? To be fluent.
Dua-duanya. Because there's some situations, especially, I feel like it's kind of a switch. I think, or maybe early on it was kind of a switch that was flicked. Now it's more of like whenever you walk into a room and it's like a dimmer and then the light and everything. It's like kind of like that, where it's like my brain is kind of like half Indonesian and half English sometimes. So there's certain phrases like if I like drop something, like occasionally I'll be like, aduh. Like, or oh la, like that. And so it's like stuff like that, and it just like reflex. But then at other times I'm like, dang it. So it's sometimes.
Somehow we learn as a students, and then after students we think in English, and after that we dream in English. Have you ever dreamed in Bahasa?
I'll answer this first because I have a shorter answer. My dreams don't have any sound. So I've never dreamed in English or any other language. So, but Ben actually has.
I don't know. I probably have. Yeah. For me, it's just I don't even think about what language I'm speaking at this point. It just is. Yeah. I don't tend to think about what I say before I say it. So whatever language comes out of my mouth is fine.
Well, next questions, bro. Could Could you please to introduce a little bit about yourself first and what brought you into this country, Indonesia?
Yeah. My name is Benjamin, but everybody calls me Ben. I did my undergraduate degree at University of Arizona.
Arizona.
Bear down, go Cats. I studied Teknik Pertanian. So similar to what I'm studying here, I'd always been interested in moving overseas. At first, it was kind of for an exchange program or something like that. But then I kind of got more into the world of service and of nonprofits, and so ended up finding a NGO, a yayasan, that I could take my passion for agriculture and use it to serve people. And it's been just a really big privilege to not only be able to provide skills, provide a unique cultural experience, but also be able to learn so much from Indonesians. And so there's just a really cool exchange that has happened with that. And it's kind of being able to help each other, which really on a global scale, if we can all help each other, we're all going to be doing pretty well, right? So, that's kind of my heart.
Yep. How about Koda?
Yeah, so pretty similar because Ben and I, we met in undergrad. I've also studied at University of Arizona. My name is Koda. People call me Koda. My background is not in agriculture. I studied mathematics at the University of Arizona. So kind of a little bit of a shift. Yeah, not linear at all.
Well, what makes you shift?
Yeah, so mostly related to what Ben was talking about with the opportunity to serve here in Indonesia through our NGO. When we first arrived, the main work that the NGO was doing here was almost exclusively focused in agriculture.
I see.
If I wanted to go through the organization, which our current leaders and the leadership in HQ are amazing. So I was like, I feel like this would just be an amazing opportunity, regardless of if it's not related to what I'm currently studying. And likewise, specializing is overrated. No need to specialize.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead full steam with this. And then just recently, our direction kind of shifted as a team. So now it's opened up quite a bit more beyond agriculture. I think I'll still stick with this current path just because I think it would be a good experience and good exposure to a field that I'm not super familiar with at the moment. But yeah, so opportunity to serve and care for people overseas. People who are both in Indonesia that are critically impoverished materially, or maybe even something that's a little bit more than that.
What makes Malang or Indonesia unique for you, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think Malang especially, and it's difficult because in the United States, it's people are not very ramah in the way that like here. So maybe it's more of an Indonesian thing or maybe a Javanese thing. But I feel like every opportunity I have to talk with somebody is like an invitation, or at least the invitation's always open to talk with somebody in the street in a way that when you go to the United States, like you can't just like talk to strangers like that. It's just like some places you'll get shot. But here it's very, very, very welcoming.
Ben, what's uniqueness of the Indonesia or Malang, in your opinion?
Yeah. I have really appreciated a similar kind of vein. Indonesians tend to be relationship first. So if I'm kind of in a hurry or I'm a little buru-buru on a certain day, it's a good reminder to slow down and to focus
slow
on
living.
The people that I care about. So that has been really helpful for me.
Do you see that the slow living is sort of the way of living, like a good living, or somehow we need it slowly, or slowing our living? Is that for you? Do our people in Indonesia should be considered the fast living or the slow living? Which one you prefer with?
Yeah. For me, it has been refreshing to take part in more slow living. Certainly, Americans live far too fast, far too quickly. They work far
In
too
the whole
much.
part of in America.
In America, yeah.
The whole part of America is very.
Yeah, there are places where it's a little slower. Certainly, especially the perkebunan or places like that, more small towns. But for the most part, it's a lot of a faster pace. So, it's less to me about how fast you're doing things and more about how intentional you are. So, if you're doing something slow, but it's something that is really valuable and it's really meaningful, there's no need to rush that.
You can get the like insights, like a meaningful life when you are living your life a little bit slowly. I've been in Kuala Lumpur. Me myself is take my PhD in University of Malaya.
Okay.
I am a lecturer in the Faculty of Administrative Science. I take my PhD right now in Kuala Lumpur, and my master in University of Indonesia in Jakarta Malang is so slow living. Yeah, compared to any other the metropolitan city, I think. So, what is you were take this study in the Arizona University and right now in University of Brawijaya. What is the differences in terms of maybe the proses belajar mengajar or something like the way the students engage in the class? What is the differences between the America University and here in Indonesia University?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. There's a lot of differences for sure, and I think it's almost difficult to point out specifically. I mean, there are definitely specific things, but I think the overall just like structure of curriculum can be very different, and I think also the structure, the scheduling can be very different, just sort of broadly. So I think there's definitely a lot of things that are very different. I think one of the things that when we first came here that we were really looking forward to when we were talking with our team leader was sort of this idea of like gotong royong. So like when we like almost kerjasama.
Mengerjakan tugas.
Yeah. Ya seperti itu. So we so we were saying, so I think that is a sort of a culture that we were hoping to really like step into, and I think that's something that we catch glimpses of it, and I think that it's something that to really stoke and to cultivate as just because it is, from what we've talked, is one of the best things about studying in Indonesia is that rasa gotong royong. So and it's not it's kind of not something that really exists in the U.S. So it's very unique to
more communalities. I think lebih ke komunal ya.
Iya betul.
How about you, what you take on it, Ben?
Yeah, definitely similar. I have really enjoyed classmates. I've really enjoyed just learning. It's definitely been unique interacting with professors in a different way. In the US, it's very santai. You can call your professor by your first name. There's not a lot of hormati. But here it's definitely a show of respect, which in some ways is really cool. And you get to show respect to the professors.
We call it budaya timur maybe.
You
need to respect each other, respect the professor. In the US, maybe you can call professors the name of the professors.
Yeah, just the first name.
Yeah. Here, you need to prof. Something like that. It makes you like a shock in the culture first when you came here in Indonesia.
I think definitely to an extent. Shock, or definitely an awareness. Okay, this is different. There's also parts of Indonesian culture that I've noticed, specifically with like that jarak kuasa, that sort of difference. that I actually sort of understand. So I'm half Hispanic, so my dad has Mexican heritage.
Okay.
So there's a ton of similarities I'm realizing, especially when it comes to ideas about authority. And so it's a little bit, there are parts of it where it's like, okay, there's part of me that thinks this should be uncomfortable, but it's actually just kind of normal and fine. And I don't have many problems with it. And there's other things that it's like, okay, yeah, this is something I have to think about and kind of navigate. But
maybe for my people here in Indonesia, maybe when we travel to United States or in Europe, yes, that's the same, right? We will face the challenges like the cultural shock there. When the budaya Timur, we apply the budaya Timur a whole life, and then we travel to the maybe global north, maybe we face some critical challenge to face the cultural there. So maybe the last part, you just 30 minutes. Just 30 minutes. So since my listeners here is so keen to have a global exposure, so in your opinion, what kind of the skills that the young Indonesian should prepare? Is that a language? Is that a sort of the particular skills to have the connection abroad, to have the global connections? What kind of the preparations in terms of the skills, in terms of the mindset, in terms of the sort of ability? So what your take on it? To have a global exposure.
Where do you go first?
Yeah, I think I'll get the kind of practical, sort of boring stuff out of the way first. I mean, I think it's good to learn English. That's a good portion for sure, to be able to kind of become sort of especially in academia, sort of the lingua franca of academia right now. But I think beyond that, a sort of like mind and heart posture, specifically around like curiosity, humility, integrity. I think all of the values behind why you do something are almost, not always, but usually more important than the thing you're actually doing, because it's going to set your trajectory. And so if you are remaining humble, remaining curious, remaining integrous in what you're doing, I think those are the more important. And then you can find the things that you love, first of all, and do all of those things with humility, with integrity. And I think that's the sort of thing that transforms communities more often than not. So
great. Good call. You, Ben.
Yeah, I think one thing that we have had a lot of conversations about with Indonesians has been, I guess, simply just percaya diri, but on a more broad sense. Everyone in the world is of the same value, has the same worth. And so just because we're from the United States does not make us any better than Indonesians. Indonesians are not any better than us. We all get to, like Koda said, learn from one another and engage in curiosity together and have this kind of cultural exchange that, especially in the era of technology that we live in, is very unique. And so that's the biggest thing, is just understanding that Indonesians are equally as worthy of engaging in the same things of creativity and innovation and all of these things. And you're probably going to fail and make mistakes, but those are things that you can really learn from. And in the end, it's really worth it. So
the last part, what is the most unique experience? The funny experience maybe you found after you came to Indonesia? What is the unique experience that makes you, wow, it's like this? Just one.
So I was at an event earlier this year, and it had a lot of large groups of Indonesians that were present earlier. And it was my first experience kind of in that sort of setting. And I was talking with an older Indonesian man, and he was surprised that I spoke Bahasa. My Bahasa was still not super great at that point, but I was able to speak it pretty well. And so we're talking and everything, and as he shook my hand, he's not let go of my hand the entire.
Okay.
We're having about a 2-minute conversation still there.
tight.
I'm like, okay, that's very unique. It's like I just realized we have not disengaged at all. And then
hold each other.
and it was time to eat. It was time for dinner at the event. So I was like, okay, and I was like, oh yeah, like mungkin ya kita akan makan pak. And he was like, okay, yeah. And so we start walking, and he does not let go of my hand. And so we're walking hand in hand.
Are you walking?
Yeah, walking hand in hand to dinner, and I'm like, wow. and there's a phrase in English. It's there's the pancake and waffle, where it's like, there's the pancake and then waffle. Here we were doing the waffle. And I was like, wow. And so I was like, am I holding his hand too tightly? I was like thinking about all sorts of stuff. And it was just so funny, but it was also at the same time, I could tell that he really cared about me. And it was from a place of love and concern. So I was like, wow, this is something I would never experience in the United States. And it's like really awesome that I get to do it. Right here.
The experience of the warmness, maybe.
Yeah, incredibly warm. And I was like, felt incredibly honored by that.
Yeah, it's really great. Ben, unique experience. Your mic, Ben.
Gosh. I can't think of one at the moment. There's too many, maybe.
Maybe your pemilik kontrakan, maybe.
Yes, I did.
Gonna laugh.
Yeah, I do have a very great host dad at my course. And so we would go on a lot of adventures, and often he would drive, and I had no idea where we were going, but it always ended up being pretty fun. And one day we went up to Pujan, and we got to drink some milk straight from the cow, which was pretty fun. And just a lot of going along for the ride, which is a good time. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Koda. Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you so much for giving a lot of, we learned so much here. Thank you so much from you. We learned about how to embrace the differences, different culture, the type of the warmness, you know?
Right.
So thank you so much.
Yeah.
We end here. So you guys, you learn so much from these conversations, and you can start to have a global exposure right now. Thank you.